overhead dumbbell press, whether done controlled or with momentum. An interesting exercise that you see a lot flying around the gym at the moment, and they use it for, that's a good question, why are people doing it? Let's have a look at the anatomical analysis of this exercise and see if it's applicable to you from a benefit point of view and a risk-return point of view. So first of all, when you look at any exercise, the question is, why are you doing it? What's the purpose of it? Is it to enhance your ability to lift a weight above your head with one arm? And if so, where do you apply that in your life? Or is it targeting a muscle, maybe the deltoids above the head? Or is it targeting something else, which I'm not quite aware of? So first of all, look at why are you doing it? What is the outcome? Is it fat loss? Is it strength? Is it specific strength? Is it muscle gain? The other aspect, number two, is to look at the safety of it. So if you put your X-ray vision goggles on and have a look at what's happening at the joint. To take a weight above your head, first of all, your scapula has to laterally rotate because your humerus can only come to about 80-90 degrees of shoulder abduction. Any higher than that, the scapula or the platform has to rotate to allow the humerus to go above the head without being limited by the acromion process, because the acromion process and the humerus come in contact at 90 degrees. So to go any higher than that, the scapula has to rotate. Now the first challenge with that is that automatically puts you into an impingement position, and considering that the number one injury in the shoulders is shoulder impingement, which impinges the tendon, the supraspinatus tendon, one of the rotator cuff, and it impinges between the acromion process, that lump there on top of your shoulder, and the head of the humerus. So straight away doing that action is you're impinging that tendon, or the potential to wear it down or wear it out. Considering that that's the number one injury in the shoulder. Shoulder impingement, supraspinatus tendonitis and tendinopathy. So that could be, why do you want to put your shoulder at that risk with a heavy load lifting up and down? The other challenge is it's not a very stable position. If I wanted to dislocate your shoulder joint, that would be easy. I just have to take your shoulder into a shoulder abduction and laterally rotate it. And that is the weaker position you can get your glenohumeral joint in. That's dislocation position. So going up here, maybe bringing your hand in front might be away from shoulder dislocation position. But when you're out this range, you've got shoulder impingement and shoulder dislocation position in an unstable position. So from a safety point of view, you really have to have a great return or a great benefit to justify the risk, because once you injure your shoulder, then it can be a bit of a challenge to rehabilitate. Ask anyone who has had to combat shoulder impingement, shoulder tendonitis and shoulder tendinopathy, particularly in the supraspinatus. So from a safety point of view, it's probably very low on the ranking of an exercise point of view for returns versus risk. Now, the next one is the benefit. What are people doing it? Well, the muscle that does that is your deltoid muscle. So it's only a small muscle over here, and it's mainly a stabilization muscle that stabilizes your humerus into the glenoid cavity. So it is a small muscle. So are there other exercises that can train your deltoid? Well, there are plenty of exercises that can train your deltoid in a lot safer position. Close grip bench presses or rows or single dumbbell rows, because all of them work the deltoid muscle that stabilize the humerus into the glenoid cavity, while also assisting in either the shoulder extension or shoulder flexion or horizontal extension. So the deltoid is one of those muscles that works with everything. If you can't isolate it, it works with everything. And isolating it puts it in the joint in an unstable position. Is there a better exercise? Well, of course, all these exercises are far better and are far safer. So doing push-ups or doing dips or doing bench presses or rows are going to be far more safer and just as effective at training your deltoid than putting your joint in an unstable position, a position of impingement, to work the deltoid, because the deltoid works with many different movements and planes. The other thing which I didn't quite get into is the functionality. Is there any function? What is the point of doing this? What part of life do you lift a weight above your head in a heavy loaded position, and why do you do that? What part of sport, what part of life, what part of daily life's activities? So from a functional point of view, there's not much application to that, because if we do have to lift something heavy, maybe a heavy pillow in the cupboard, but pillows aren't that heavy, or maybe a heavy box into the cupboard, then we tend to do that once and once only. We don't need to do repetitive loaded exercises to wear out the joint, so I can do that once. And in a workplace health and safety point of view, if you're working in a factory or any occupation and you are required to lift a heavy weight above your head, then that would be disallowed from the workplace health and safety officer, because that would be an unsafe movement pattern. And anyone who's worked in the workplace will know that you're not allowed to, from a workplace health and safety point of view, you're not allowed to lift weights above a certain height. So why is it okay now to do that in the gym? If the gym was an occupational site, then that exercise would be banned from workplace health and safety point of view. So there's some interesting thoughts. Are there better exercises to train those muscles? Of course there are. Why would you put your joint in that position, in an unsafe position, to train a small muscle that works in many other movement patterns? Because to do that would be pretty silly, and that would be no cow poo.